Sorry, I've got to start on a bit of a sad note, Mikel.
Yeah.
A young member of the Arsenal family, Saliba, I know you probably wouldn't have come across him too much, but it's been a terrible tragedy. He's lost his life. Just wondered what the thoughts of Arsenal were about that.
Well, so shocking news when I got them yesterday, obviously. So straight away thinking about the family and how difficult it is to go through something like this in a very unexpected way as well, and hopefully they will dig in and understand what happened, why it happened, and try to avoid obviously these kind of things. But really sad news, and our full support with the family and our thoughts with all the loved ones.
Which brings everything into perspective, but to crack on with other questions, can you give us any injury update on Martin Odegaard?
Martin will be training with us the next 2 days, so hopefully he will be available for the game.
Okay, so racing to be fit?
Yes.
And with Bukayo, he came off, didn't he, after an hour, took a bit of a knock, but it was always the plan, was it, for him to have that many minutes?
Yeah, nothing to report there. I think he played the games that we anticipated. He did well, he feels good, and he will be trained the next 2 days.
And is available for selection?
Yes.
And you said there was going to be another scan, I think, on Noni. Has that happened?
Not yet, not update yet.
So everybody in the world, apart from Arsenal, seem to be saying that William Saliba has agreed a new deal. I'm assuming the reason Arsenal haven't announced it is because it's not quite done yet.
So hopefully it will be everybody in the world, Arsenal included, very soon, and that's what I'm hoping. But let's leave the club to announce that when it's all done.
But if it does happen, how important is that? Because he's a pivotal player for this club.
He certainly is, and he's been instrumental in everything we've done in the last few years. It's great to see a lot of players willing and so driving to commit to the club. That means that they are happy, they feel valued, and they see that this is the best opportunity for them to continue their careers and fulfill the ambition of the club.
How much pride do you take in the way he plays, his form, how good he is, and the fact that he's of interest to other big clubs in the world?
Well, very impressive what he's done at his age, because sometimes we tend to forget. But his consistency, I think, the way he's progressed, I think the way he's matured as well as a person, and his role in the team has grown year after year. I think he's built a partnership with Gabi especially, but with the back line and the keeper that has given the best defensive record in the last 3 years, I think, and he's been pivotal to that.
On that, you've played some tough games already this season, but you've only conceded 2 goals in 7 games. So that says how good your defence is. Have you got the best defence in the Premier League now, with all the options that you've got in all the positions?
I don't know, we want to have the best team in the Premier League, and in relation to every phase, I think the contribution of every player is critical. We start from our front line, and the amount of pressure and work that they put to any defensive line, any goalkeeper is tremendous. So it's something collective, it's a team sport, and in anything that we do, everybody has a pivotal role on that.
But to concede just 2 in 7, that's impressive.
Yeah, especially one of them was a free kick that you cannot do much about it, and one it was an action that there are things to improve, but overall I think we've been consistent. It will be key to maintain that level.
Newcastle, last couple of seasons has proved to be, results-wise anywhere, a difficult place to go. Do you see them as a different kettle of fish now that Isak isn't there, because he scored the winner against you last season?
No, because I wasn't playing against Barcelona, and what it could have been in the first 30 or 40 minutes could be very different to results. At the end, we know, I always praise the work that Eddie and the coaching staff have done there, and the way they have managed to create such an atmosphere, especially at home as well, and a very clear identity of playing football, and they make it really difficult. And we know the test. We know that we're going to have to be much more efficient than we've been lately when we played up there to win the game, and we're going to work on that in the next 2 days.
I wanted to get a top coach's point of view about kickoffs and using them as a tactic. Newcastle done it quite a lot from kick-off, kicking the ball straight out as deep into the opposition area. I think you did it as well against Liverpool. What's the thinking behind that?
There's various ways. I like more the one that you put the ball in the back of the net straight away instead of kicking it for a throw-in, which there are a few patterns and a few ways that team have done it over the past, but there are some tendencies as well that are in relation to the game that we expect as well, or you expect certain things that you can do to try to avoid certain pressure in the first minutes. It's all down to preparation, I think.
Is it something, kicking the ball straight out, that you would only do away? Could you do that at home as well?
Depends. First half, second half. If you concede and it's 2 minutes to go, depending. I think the context of the match and the results, I think, makes you decide what's the best thing to do now.
And just finally on that, are there any other little tactics from kickoffs that you're considering that you might use in the future?
Probably, yeah.
But you're not going to tell me what?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go to Nick from the Premier League.
Hi.
Hello.
Regarding Saliba,
Yeah.
since you gave him his debut in the Premier League in August 22, his Arsenal ranking is first in terms of possession won, touches, successful passes, second in bulk areas, clearances, aerial duels won, and tackles won. I can imagine you had certain expectations of him when you gave him his debut. How much he exceeded those expectations?
Yeah, probably all of them, I would say, especially the way we started our relationship, when probably we have different expectations or ideas of how we have to start to create the best pathway for him to fulfill his potential. But I think at some points we got to the same conclusion, to the same line. We started to work together, and from there, with the help of all the coaches and players, everything started to flourish, because it was clear that the potential was there. It was about timing, and especially, in my opinion, creating the right environment and players for him to deliver what he could do.
Bukayo Saka, so far 99 goals involvements for Arsenal in the Premier League. How special it will be to reach 100 this weekend, and how impressive is the ability to show consistency while dealing with injuries along the way?
100, 101 and 102, hopefully on Sunday. I think that's in less than 200 games as well, which is a really impressive record. That tells you again, when we talk about consistency on attacking players, creative players, that's very rare to find, and at his age especially more, but that's the talent that we have.
What's the biggest challenge of facing an Eddie Howe side, and how massive the challenge is this weekend, despite the fact that obviously they're getting used to a new reality without Alexander Isak?
Well, it's a lot of games that you have to dominate when you play against them. And we have to ready, because the context changes so rapidly, so quickly. It's always a really intense match, and I will be prepared for that. We know that, but increasing especially our efficiency in two very specific key things, I think it's what it gives you the best chance for you to win the game.
Tom, football manager.
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
I've been asked a lot about Saliba already, but it's not just Saliba, of course. It's Gabriel signed a new deal, Wineri signed a new deal, Lewis Skelly signed a new deal. This collective clearly is showing that they believe in the project that they're part of. And how important is that to you to see that commitment?
Well, extremely happy, and every time I sit with a player and we discuss it with the club what their intentions are, the first thing is that they want to continue with us. They want to win with us. They want to continue to grow as a player in this environment, and that's a great thing to have, because it's not always the case, so we don't take it for granted. But that means that obviously the club is doing really well as well to make people, the staff, feel very valuable and happy here.
When you arrived at Arsenal as a player, you arrived after a period when the likes of Sami Nasri, Cesc Fabregas, and Robin van Persie decided not to commit important years of their career to the club. As a manager now, you're seeing obviously players of yours decide to do that. How do you view kind of how the club has evolved over the last 12 years, it would be, from that period?
Well, yeah, I think the circumstances were different as well, because when we moved to the Emirates as well, the club had other needs, so it would be, I think, difficult to compare. What I can say is, again, that I'm extremely happy that players are feeling so committed and so willing to continue with us, because we want to do the same, continue with them, because they've been exceptional for us.
Okay, James from CBS.
Hanko, you seem very excited, and rightly so, about the imminent news on William. Are you expecting some news on Bukayo that you might be able to share with us soon?
I would love that. From everything that I know, again, he's a player that is extremely happy and proud to be and to have the role that he has at the football club. And things will develop in a natural way, like they always do. And we know, and everybody knows how important Bukayo is for us. So hopefully we can do it.
You said you sort of sat down with William, and you must be aware of some of the noise that's been coming from the Spanish press, and you know the fact that he's always looked like a player that Real Madrid wanted to sign, and these big clubs. When he says to you that he wants to stay at Arsenal, when he says publicly, how much pride do you take in that? Because you know, as you said, it's been an up and down sort of relationship. You must have got something right.
No, I think. Well, I was quite direct with him, because when you hear that noise, and you can understand certain expectations, at the end players have feelings, players have been educated as well in their families, maybe dreaming about something one day, and that's a really natural thing to have. When I sit down with William and I ask him the question, he said, no, I want to stay here, I want to play for you, and I'm very happy in his own way, so that's great to hear.
Especially about Real Madrid, or just like moving on?
In general, I didn't want to be specific, but it was obvious the amount of noise that it was around certain clubs. So we don't have to name many teams, but there are not as well that many that can come and get Willie out from Arsenal, and probably him being happy to discuss it. So it was clear, and again, he was so transparent and honest from the beginning.
Simon Standard?
Mikel, how would you describe the atmosphere at St James's Park?
Incredibly beautiful. I think it's one of the best football atmosphere in this country. I think when you, as a player, as a fan, as a coach, you want to live in this atmosphere. They play every single ball with you. It's electric. There is so much support out there, and yeah, it's one team, one city. I think that makes it a different as well, and to play as an opposition as well is such a challenge and opportunity at the same time. So great atmosphere to play.
And just on that Barca game, did you watch that?
Yeah.
And was there something you learned from it in the sense that I think Barcelona had that sort of 20 minutes where they kind of weathered the storm, and then they were able to play the football that they wanted to do? The things that you've taken from that going into Sunday that you think your team can learn?
Yeah, I think there are two ways to look at that game with a tactical view. It's on mute or pure on the volume up. And I decided to put the volume up just to understand, because there is in every decision making there is an emotional contribution there, and certainly when you have to play your game and the way you want to play there, you have to be able to do it in that atmosphere, and I think that's beautiful.
Okay, Art from the Athletic.
Hi, Mikel. Just on Saliba again, sorry.
Yeah.
But when you mentioned there was a moment where I guess yours and his relationship, you found the same kind of conclusion. Can you remember the conversation around that time and what actually helped you get on the same page?
Yeah, there were a few. The last one, it was unfortunately over the phone, because we have to make the call, and it was during COVID as well, and it wasn't easy. But I said, listen, I have to be very honest with you. The last thing that I want is you being here and not playing the football that, in my opinion, you have to play to continue to develop. And the club was on board with that. And after that, when I saw him and I looked in the eyes to him, I said, my opinion, you ready? What do you think? Yeah, I'm ready. So then we started, and everything started to flourish.
What about, I guess, that year made you feel he was ready?
When I started in training to see the things that, in my opinion, are basics that you need to absolutely dominate to play as a centre back in this league.